Well, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you to the organizers, and thank you for the panel coming next. I'll be making forward-looking statements today. So about Apellis. Apellis was founded in 2010, but actually is the success of another company called Potential Pharmaceuticals, which started in 2001 by a group of scientists and physicians in Louisville, Kentucky. So our focus is, our goal is to develop, first-in-class therapies for a broad range of diseases driven by complement hyperactivation. We have been pioneers in targeting C3 therapies. Going back all the way to 2007, we were the first group to test C3 inhibition in the eye for wet AMD. And forward in 2015, we started a program with systemic C3 inhibition with pegcetacoplan for paroxysmal nocturnal hemoglobinuria, leading to an approval last year of Empaveli, now in the market, providing patients with PNH with a superior therapy over the existing C5 therapies. So we're growing fast. We were 30 employees in 2017. We just crossed 550, and we have now 8 global offices. And we are a global leader in complement, and we intend to continue to establish pegcetacoplan or systemic pegcetacoplan in rare diseases, be a leader in the retina, and develop new technologies to control complement. All of these focus on our compassion and our commitment to patients that has characterized us for the last 20 years. So there is no treatment, there's no approved treatment for GA, and GA accounts for 20% of the legal blindness due to AMD, with over 5 million patients globally and over 1 million patients in the US alone. So the complement pathway, and this is a more simplistic view than in the prior presentation. We have the 3 activation pathways at the top, all 3 pathways converging into the activation of C3, leading to C3b deposition and opsonization of the cells and cell removal, and activation of C5 and formation of the membrane attack complex. By targeting C3, we prevent activation of the complement pathway through all activation pathways, as well as all the effector pathways, and most importantly, inhibiting C3 and preventing C3b deposition and opsonization of the cells, which we believe is key to the pathophysiology of GA. So a growing pipeline from ophthalmology in our GA program all the way to rare diseases in hematology, nephrology, and neurology. But most importantly here at the top, again, our PNH program with Empaveli approved last year, providing the first C3 therapy for patients with PNH. And in GA, we just submitted our NDA a little over a month ago, and we expect a potential approval by the end of the year or early next year, and we're planning to submit to EMA later in this year. These 2 position Apellis as a leader in complement, as a leader in retina as well. Our Derby and Ox studies, these were the 2 phase 3 studies, 2 large global studies of 600 patients each, comparing pegcetacoplan monthly, every other month versus sham. The primary endpoint was the rate of progression of GA at 12 months. So the 12 months results, what we see here is the Ox study on the left. We saw a reduction in the rate of progression of 21 and 16% for the monthly and the every other month arm respectively. This was highly statistically significant. On the right, we see Derby with reductions of 12 and 11% compared to sham, barely missing significance. Now, when we look at 18 months, we see a slight increase in the reduction of progression of GA. Now they're flipped, so Ox is in the right with 22% for the monthly arm, 16% reduction for the every other month as compared to sham, and in Derby, 13 and 12% respectively. All of these with nominal p-values below 0.05. Now, to see what happens with the effect over time, we separate the 18 months in 6 months intervals. And what we saw was a lesser effect on months 0 to 6, which is a similar phenomenon that we saw in the phase 2 Philly study. perhaps indicating a lack of the initiation of the effect in this period. But when we look at 6 to 12 and 12 to 18, we see that effects are comparable and now increasing over time. So looking at foveal and extrafoveal, just for background, David included patients with foveal lesions as well. When we look at extrafoveals here on the right, we see a reduction of 26% and 21% for monthly and every month respectively, and 13% for both arms for foveal lesions. The safety profile of pegcetacoplan at 18 months is acceptable. Exudation rates were 9.5% for monthly, 6.2%, 9.5% for monthly, 6.2% for every month, compared to a 3% rate for the sham group. Infections of endophthalmitis, we saw 4 cases in total in both studies, with a rate of 0.44 per injection out of over 9,000 injections. The same thing with inflammation, very low rate of 0.2% per injection. Importantly, there were no cases of retinitis or vasculitis in the studies. So our plans, we just submitted our NDA. We continue to prepare for commercialization on GA. I'm planning to submit an IND in the near future for a new compound as the potential next generation for wet AMD. Thank you very much.